Friends, welcome back in exam specials, jurisprudence classes. Today we are going to discuss about the Analytical School of Jurisprudence propounded by John Austin and the contribution of John Austin in the field of Analytical School of Jurisprudence. So let's start. Analytical School of Jurisprudence, uh, the first book has been written by John Austin, that is The Province of Jurisprudence Determined in 1832. So in this book, once you turn the pages of this book, you found that the John Austin has stated the definition of law. Law is made by one intelligent being for the guidance and governance of another intelligent being. So law is made by one intelligent being for the guidance and governance of another intelligent being. So why the term intelligent being has been used? Because it has intentionally used the term intelligent being in the place of human being, because in the intelligent being there is God and divine law must be included in the definition. That's why John Austin has used the term intelligent being in the place of human being. Law has been categorized into two parts by the John Austin: law properly so-called and law improperly so-called. So what is law properly so-called and what is law improperly so-called? So law improperly so-called, why it is called law improperly so-called? Because it is not proper to say this is the law. It looks like, it appears like law, but it is not. We can't say this is the law properly, because we cannot study in the law school and the application of law in the courtroom. It looks like, it appears like, that's why it is called as law improperly so-called. And why it is called properly so-called? Because it is proper to say this is the law. Coming to the example, so law improperly so-called further categorized into two parts: law of physical nature and law of analogy and metaphor. So law of physical nature is it is gravitational force, blood circulation, digestion, respiration, and so on. So law behind gravitation, law behind blood circulation, but we can't say law of gravitation in law school. We cannot study. Once we throw the ball in a sky, it automatically come down on the earth because of the law of gravitation. So although there is law behind the gravitation, but we cannot study this type of law in the law school because it is improper to say. Law of analogy and metaphor. It is analogous to the law. It is a metaphor of the law. It looks like, it appears like as a law, but this is not exact law we study in the law school. For an example, law of attraction, law of love, law of fashion. This is the law. There is law behind attraction, but we can't study this type of law in the law school. So entire law has been excluded from the field of law by the John Austin because it is not a proper law. Okay. Entire law improperly so-called has excluded from the field of law by the John Austin in order to attain the purity in the field of law. Coming to law properly so-called. Law properly so-called further categorized into two parts: law made by God and law made by human being. So law made by God has excluded by the John Austin from the field of law because there is lack of evidence, evidentiary value. There is no evidentiary value. We can't say that this particular law is enacted by the God himself. Although this is the statement and based upon the presumption and hypothesis, therefore we can't say the law made by God is actual law, although the prime function of law made by God is to regulate the human behavior. That's why it comes under the category of law properly so-called. Otherwise, law made by God has not evidentiary value. Therefore, John Austin excluded the law made by God from the field of law. The second category is law made by human being. Law made by human being further categorized into two parts, positive law and positive morality. So positive morality further excluded from the field of law. Why? Because morality is nothing to do in the legality according to John Austin. In morality, there is lack of sanction or punishment. We cannot award the sentence and punishment if any person is willfully disobey to do particular activity which is based upon the morality. For an example, cricket club and football club associations. If any member of the football club associations has been terminated, that will not be challenged before the court of law, because this is the based upon the club and association. This type of club and association works under the private capacity and based upon the morality, and the morality has nothing to do with legality because the lack of punishment according to John Austin. So everything has been excluded from the field of law except one thing, that is positive law. So what is positive law according to John Austin? Positive law is a command of sovereign. So positive law is a command of sovereign. This is the most important phenomena. So what is command? Command is wish or desire. So in the command, there must be wish or desire. And if the political superior having wish or desire, if it is expressed before the political inferior, that political inferior has to obey whatever the expressed command before the political inferior. If it is not been obeyed by the political inferior, the punishment will be inflicted. So there are four essential requisites of the command. Number one is wish or desire. Number second is such wish or desire must be expressed. And after that, once it is expressed before the political inferior by the political superior, the obedience must be observed. Otherwise, punishment will be inflicted. Coming to the sovereignty. Sovereignty has two marks, positive as well as negative marks. And there are three essential requisites of the sovereignty. Number first is continuity, illimitability, and indivisibility. What is positive and what is negative mark? For an example, if the China has made the law for us, it is not positively accepted by us, it is negatively accepted by us. So we negate to accept the law and sovereignty of the China in the territory of India. So, and whatever the law made by the parliament, it is positively welcome and accepted by us. So there are two marks of the sovereignty, positive as well as negative. Both are essential to constitute the marks of the sovereignty. There are three essential requisites of the sovereignty. Number one is continuity, number second is illimitability, and number third is indivisibility. Continuity means the sovereign must be continuous. Common phrase, well famous phrase, well established phrase in the United Kingdom, that is, king is dead, long live king. The blood and flesh of the king will never die. Successor will become a king, son of the king become a king. So sovereignty is the continuous process. There is no break or stop in the continuing process of the sovereignty. The second element is illimitability. Sovereign power has illimited. So another British's phrase that British Parliament can do each and everything except one thing, to convert male into female and female into male. So sovereign has unlimited power to do everything according to John Austin. And number third is sovereign has indivisible in nature. That sovereign cannot be divided into two parts. Sovereign is united and having the united force to work. So there is one sovereign cannot be divided, and there is delegated legislation, separation of power, and division of power does not mean the sovereign is divisible. Apart from the entire definition by the John Austin, there are certain criticism. Number one is habits, number second is custom, number third is morality, number fourth is imperfect obligation. There are four main criticism of John Austin. So, Mr. John Austin, you said that every law is followed because of the punishment. If the punishment will not be inflicted, the law will not be obeyed. But this is the wrong proposition to say. I am habituated to follow the law not by the fear of punishment. This is my habit to follow the law. This is not by virtue to follow the law by fear of punishment. For an example, I drive my vehicle on the left side of the road because of my habits, not because of the fear of punishment. Number second is custom. The custom celebrated not by the fear of punishment, rather there is amusement and there is certain pleasure to celebrate the custom, and the customary law will be accepted not by the fear of punishment, rather it is accepted because of the locality of that particular territory. So morality, what is morality? He said that morality should be excluded from the field of law. It must be excluded from the field of law. But the hard and fact of the life is there is legality and morality are inseparable, separable or inalienable in nature. We cannot separate morality from legality and legality from morality. Both are clubbed together, both are essential requisites to each other. But morality cannot be separated from legality. That's why the John Austin excluded from the field of morality, moral law, positive morality from the field of law is not accepted at all. And therefore, the last one is imperfect obligations. Imperfect obligation is the things, suppose you owe the debt, and you have duty to repay the loan. So if there is certain limitation period will be applicable on you, and suppose that time barred has already been performed or realized, and there is time barred, time has elapsed, so you are not supposed to repay the loan by the fear of punishment, rather it is imperfect obligation. You have morally responsible to pay the loan. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video patiently. We will cover in the next topic in the next video. Thank you so much. Wish you all the best.